Hi everyone, and welcome to my March newsletter. I am coming to you a little bit later than usually anticipated. We're sort of halfway through the month, and this is me just getting my newsletter out. But it's been one of those sort of time sinks. I feel we've had a really short month in February where it just seemed to disappear, and now in March it seems that time has sort of expanded itself. So it's been a really interesting time in February in terms of what I've called self realizations and memories being put into perspectives that I hadn't really contemplated before. And that has been a great revelation. In fact, it's been a little bit of a relief on some ways where we have memories about our childhood that don't quite fit. And then when we re-establish that memory and we revisit those memories, as an adult, we sort of can see that bigger picture stuff and actually see what was happening at that time in our life and sort of create a different process around it. And yeah, I've really enjoyed that. I thought that was a really exciting thing for me to do as part of preparation for my new Theta healing training. I think that for all of us, we continue on a journey of self realization. I don't think we ever get to the point where we completely understand our brain, our thinking, our memories, our feelings. They just keep unraveling and unraveling like that ball of elastic bands, and we just get a ping every now and then where we've got to pay attention. And it's been really interesting from the clients that I've had, which have been sort of globally clients coming in all over the world, where events happening around them, they haven't quite correlated that that's maybe been a reflection or a projection in them. And so therefore a set of events have occurred and they need to alter or change how they think or how they respond to events happening around them. And it's been really wonderful to see that process sort of filter into their mind. And then suddenly they go, wow, I hadn't thought about it. I hadn't looked at that process. And I do think sometimes that's what I'm here for is people will start to talk about what's going on in their life. And then I'll unbag it and unpack it and pull it out, stretch it out. And then they go, oh, yeah, I haven't looked at it like that. I think for many of us right now, with the world in so much chaos, and when I talk about chaos, I'm talking about what's happening in terms of these major weather events, and we're all being really impacted, or we know someone that has been impacted. It's I suppose making us focus on what is actually really important in our lives and what we can live with and what we can live without. And I know I personally have been reflecting um, on the disaster here in New Zealand and reflecting back on where we were as a family when the Christchurch earthquakes came, both in the September and then in the February, those two really major events. We had lots of earthquakes in between and still have earthquakes, 20 years down the line or 15 years or however long it's been. It feels like 20. But it's made me sort of really prioritize and just think about how I spend my time, who I spend my time with, what I spend my money on. Do I need to spend my money on those things? Because in a nanosecond, you don't have it. And that was a really big thing for us as a family back in 2010 and 2011. It is important to be aware of how we respond to things. And in a recent Reiki teaching course, I've had a couple this month, in explaining to students who maybe had trauma in their life, and allowing them to really think about how that trauma occurred, why it occurred, and who was the perpetrator, if you will. It's really easy for us to extend our emotional and project our emotional disharmony onto others. But we have to actually own how we're feeling, because we are the person that is feeling it. And that was a huge thing in February with really distressed clients. They wanted to project that agony or that emotional distress onto loved ones or others or people that they just really didn't go on with. But coming back to that reality of, well, actually, you're the one that's feeling the distress. They don't feel the distress. They're doing what they're doing, and they're in their own world, if you will, and they're isolated from what it is that you're feeling, because that belongs to you, and you have to deal with this. It was a real opportunity for many of the clients to step out of a behavior, whether it be of victimhood, the rescuer. Those would be the two main categories, and actually come into a place of self-realization. Why am I feeling like this? Do I have to feel like this? Can I change how I'm feeling? So it has been a really massive, massive time of change. I am excited. I'm excited by the opportunity of investing in my own training and healing. I've already started using some of the techniques with my clients, and we're revealing more about themselves. And that's always fascinating for me as well as for them, as well as for them. So possibly February has been a bit of an emotional roller coaster. You've maybe had to take a look at yourself a little bit deeper, which is not always um, what we want to do. We kind of do like to hide sometimes. But I think it's important. I think for myself, when I find out more about myself, then I know I can change myself. And then sometimes I just think, gosh, Phyllis, you're really weird. And why do you think like this all of the time? And it's exhausting. So sometimes I sort of go through that process of, do I really have to do this healing work? Do I have to keep peeling this layer? So I know that some of you out there will be feeling the same, And I just think that's that whole February process of the changing energies of the old vibrational year going out, the new vibrational year coming in. And then all of this sort of weather bombs that are going off around the world, not just here in New Zealand, but across the world. We're all having to cope with things in a really different space, in a different way. So it's been a good month, I have to say. I have enjoyed it, even if it has been a little bit stressful. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? I think that we settle into March. The year itself is sort of moving through already, and lots of things bubbling under the surface. I can see that with my own work. I can see it in our family business, things just bubbling away under the surface. And eventually it will come out of the rabbit hole, and we will see the benefits of all the work that we've put in, and the effort and the energy that we've put in behind these projects. I'm also, as always, being pulled down the rabbit hole, and I land up in the most extraordinary journeys when I start to look at things, especially online. And I'll click here, and then it leads me to there, and it leads me to there, and it leads me to there, and off I go. So I can definitely see the vibration of the rabbit coming in as we come through the year. For this month, we are going to do a question and answer session. I've got a couple of people booked in, which is great, and some lovely students from overseas. So they'll get the catch-up video sent to them once we do the session. So if you have any questions about the soul or spirituality or intuition, guides, energy, ley lines, which has been my topic for this month, aquamarine, which is the crystal of the month, then please book in for the free talk. Any question is welcome, and hopefully I will be able to help you. And we're gearing up for the crystal healing course, which is starting in April. There's been quite a few inquiries there. It's a really small group, so 4 to 6 people maximum on the course. And that just gives everyone time to ask all their questions. And it's the first course I've ran on a physical level for quite some time, apart from my Reiki attunements. So I'm really looking forward to this 9 weeks of being around people who are really enthusiastic and energized by crystals. The manuals are ready, the crystal packs are ready. So it's really exciting to be part of students' evolution and of their journey. And there will be lots of self-realization going on in the crystal course, as always, as always. As always, if you have any feedback, I'm always delighted to hear from you guys. So really take care of yourselves, be kind to yourselves, allow those memories to pop up, and then see an adult perspective around them or a different perspective around them. It might just clarify something for you. It will certainly do some healing, and it will absolutely give you a healing release, in that you don't need to keep that memory holding you back or occupying your mind space. So until the next time, take care of yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you on the free question and answer session this month. All the details are below in the newsletter. Take care for now. Bye.